Working in the music industry, you really learn how to work with people that you might not particularly like. You might not agree with their mindset. It's basically like any other job. You might have a cat, might be working at Burger King, and he's flipping fries, but the person on the cash register, he might not like. But at the end of the day, you have a job to do. And, just working in the music industry, I run across people that, I don't really care for their personality. I can name several artists that, on TV they might appear to be very nice, but really they're assholes behind the scenes. I can name plenty of them. I can name several artists that I do not particularly like, but at the end of the day, you have to know how to separate business and your personal opinion on certain things. Doesn't mean you can't come out and voice your opinion about certain things or have dealt civil conversations, but you have to know how to keep certain things separate. And I read an article today about Pharrell Williams and a comment that he made saying that why aren't people focusing on Michael Brown's bullyish behavior? And when I read the article, I said, first of all, he's playing into a white supremacist mindset that basically what they do, they come out here in the media, they say, well, why aren't we focusing on this? And they try to deflect from the real issue at hand. Or he was big, or he was this height. The same thing with Trayvon Martin. They said, well, Trayvon Martin was taller than George Zimmerman, or he played sports, or he was suspended from school for fighting and stuff. So they try to use that to really deflect the real issue, that we have an issue with gun control in this country, we have a racism issue, and we have an issue with police brutality. And that's the things that people are afraid to talk about. Now, as far as Pharrell Williams, as a producer, I respect him for what he's done for, the art form of music. I think he's an incredible producer. I met the guy in person. He's not a bad cat, but I don't always agree with his mindset. A lot of times he comes out here and he says comments that are not articulated well towards the black community or for the black community. And a lot of times he plays into certain negative stereotypes that those of the so-called the so-called dominant society play into. But I'm going to read this article to you guys, and it was a lot of comments that Pharrell Williams said that really played into negative stereotypes towards black Americans. And everything that he said I didn't disagree with, but it just goes to show you that, a lot of people come out here and they start tap dancing for the wrong people, not knowing that, Pharrell Williams, they'll view him as a nigga like everybody else. But I'm going to go ahead and read you guys this article. It says Grammy Award winning producer Pharrell Williams has previously gotten flack for his comments on race, such as when he told Oprah that the new black doesn't blame other races for our issues. But that didn't stop singer-songwriter from voicing his thoughts on Monday's grand jury decision in Ferguson. Although he said he didn't want to get in trouble, in an exclusive interview with Ebony, the star wondered why there wasn't more discussion about Michael Brown exhibiting the behavior he did in a convenience store, which Williams described as bullyish. It looked very bullyish that in it itself I had a problem with, Williams said, referring to released surveillance video that allegedly showed Brown forcefully stealing cigarillos from a store shortly before he was fatally shot by Officer Darren Williams. Not with the kid, but with whatever happened in his life for him to arrive at a place where that behavior is okay. Why aren't we talking about that? However, he did say that Wilson should have been held accountable for shooting Brown. I believe that Ferguson officers should be punished and serve time. He used excessive force on a human being who was merely a child. He was a baby, man. The boy was walking in the middle of the street when the police supposedly told him to get the fuck on the sidewalk, Williams told Ebony. If you don't listen to that, after just having pushed a store owner, you're asking for trouble. But you're not asking to be killed. Some of these youth feel hunted and preyed upon, and that's why that officer needs to be punished. The songwriter also blasted police department for the force in the inner city, questioning their use of equipment, such as mine-resistant ambush protected vehicles. He also lamented that the fact that President Obama himself has not made an appearance in Ferguson. I felt like the president should have gone down there. I think sending Authority General Eric Holder was a kind gesture, but the president should have gone. He didn't have to go and take a side. All he needed to do was show his presence, and everybody would have straightened up. No, they wouldn't, because it's bigger than President Obama. President Obama ain't done shit for the struggles of the black community since he's been in office. But that's a side note. But he didn't go. I won't fault him. He's a man with a lot of weight on his shoulders. But personally, I would have gone because being a man of the people means you're right there with them in it, Williams said, citing the examples of Martin Luther King Jr. Now, that was the article. If you guys want to go back and read it and everything, I will leave the link in the description box. But, you know, basically, Pharrell was putting on some tap dancing shoes because he was playing into the stereotypes that a lot of people within, you know, white media like to put on the black community. Every time we get gunned down, every time there's an issue that we're dealing with within our community, it's, oh, well, what did he do? You know, was his pants hanging off his ass? You know, did he have a criminal background? Was he one of those thuggish rapper looking guys? How was he in school? Did he smoke weed? How tall he was? You know, what body size did he have? How big was his penis? You know, they'd ask just a whole bunch of stupid shit to basically deflect the real issue. And, you know, I feel like that a lot of times, you know, cats like Pharrell Williams, and he is mixed. I believe he's mixed with a Filipino, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of times people of different ethnicities or people of mixed ethnicities, a lot of times they have kind of a mixed up mindset. You know, they might look black, and if they're walking down the street, they'll be viewed as a Negro, but they feel like because they have that other identity, whether it's white, whether it's you know, being mixed with Hispanic or Latin culture or whatever, or you're Filipino like Pharrell Williams, they feel like they have to come out here and basically play both sides, not knowing that they will view you as a nigga like the darkest, most charcoal dude out there on the street, because all it takes is that one drop of that black blood, and guess what? You consider a Negro like everybody else. So I think Pharrell Williams needs to really sit back and analyze some of the things that he said. And this is not the first time he's came out here and basically cooned, you know, and said things that were inappropriate, incorrect towards the black community. But, you know, that's all I gotta say on this guy. You know what I mean? It's crazy how, you know, some people within the music industry or the media and so on come out here and make wild, bold statements. And like I said, I don't disagree with everything he said, but I just thought that comment that he made about Michael Brown having a so-called bullish behavior was playing into a negative stereotype, because they use things like that in court. Now, we don't know the outs and ins and outs of everything that happened in that convenience store. That guy behind the counter could have called, you know, Mike Brown a nigga. He could have accused him for, you know, wrongfully stealing. You know, there's several things that could have took place. But what we do know is when he stepped out of that convenience store, he was gunned down wrongfully by a police officer. Something that happens all across America, day in and day out. But that's all I gotta say, man. You know, these people out here, people gotta start standing up. You know, damn the paycheck, damn upsetting people. You gotta come out here and stand for what's right, because at the end of the day, you're considered black like everybody else. But that's all I gotta say. You guys give me your feedback, your thoughts, your opinion. I'm out. Let's unify, people.